All right. So this is really interesting. Yeah, like yesterday we had, you know, a conversation that was amazing that wasn't recorded. And I've never had a conversation like it ever in my life in 62 years. And Mike Bailey was on, and and so I don't know how to go back through. And so all of you heard a very different, so it's talking about trusting the integrity of the system. And so what I realized yesterday after that conversation is that if people don't trust the integrity of the system, they don't get the benefit from the system. And then they blame the system when it's not the system, it's it's them. And so, like, I don't know if it was Mike's wife or kids or whoever it was that said with Amway, that said, well, we weren't successful in it. It's like, because we didn't do what they told us to do. Now, did he say that because he's a white male over 50?
Maybe that, or maybe he just has decided not to follow up on it or deal with it.
So, did you all think about yesterday's conversation as much as I did?
Probably not.
And why didn't you guys think about it as much as I did?
We don't deal with it as much. We don't deal
Yeah,
with it as much.
right. You don't pay the price. You don't you don't pay the price. You gain the benefit from, you know, what I pay the price for. So I make the sacrifices, I do the work, I take the risk, and you gain the benefit. Questions?
How are we able to look at it differently?
Well, it's having empathy, it's understanding. In the world today, everything's about women. Like it's just everything, especially if you go to church. It's all about women and how women are, they don't make as much money and they don't do this and they don't do this and they don't do this and they don't have this and this and this and this. It's all about nobody, nobody's talking about the white male over 50, and the white male over 50 doesn't care. Like, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Mike, like, he's interested in recruiting. Like, he's one conversation, he's interested in recruiting Katrina. Why?
He has a very different thought process.
Her attitude. Like, she's like, I'm going to do what I'm told, when I'm told, how I told, do it with a great attitude. Like, that's what she is. And it was so fascinating. It was so interesting because Nora jumped in, which I love that she did. She jumped in and she said, "Well, what if you don't, what if you don't agree?" And Katrina's like, "You just do it. You just do what you're told, when you're told, how you're told, do it with a great attitude, even if you don't agree." And so what's my biggest concern with Katrina?
She's going to change that thought process.
She's gonna change that process. That's exactly right. She's gonna change that process. Why am I so concerned about that?
Because you've experienced it?
Because I've experienced it. I've experienced it with Jason. I've experienced it with Kenny. I've experienced it with Luke. I've experienced it with Nora. Um, I've experienced it with my wife. I've experienced it. It's just crazy. questions?
Is there a way for Katrina to be the first to not do that?
Well, are you asking, have I experienced it with you, Elaine?
Well, I guess, yeah. Have you experienced it with me?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it could be like it could be underneath and I don't know about it. I mean, I remember once you said something about and Elise, I haven't experienced it with her. I didn't experience it with Brienne. And personally, I've experienced it with Ginger Ann, but I've never experienced it professionally with Ginger Ann. So, um, and so it's almost like it was almost like a spiritual awakening. It was absolutely mind-numbing. Having Mike on was absolutely, and the whole thing, it's like everything's in slow motion, like everything's locked in, everything's there. And again, the whole interaction, everything was beautiful. It was just unbelievable. And it's like I had a new appreciation for trusting the entire system. You're not going to gain the benefit. So I think Rosanna gains the benefit, from my work and my sacrifice and my risk.
For sure.
But I think you're missing I mean, you gain it from an economic engine. You don't have to work. You don't have to work. Like, you just don't. You get to do whatever you want to do. So you have total freedom. You can do whatever you want to do. And yet you still work, which I appreciate. Like, I don't take that for granted. Well, because you're working, she should be working. No, I don't feel that at all. And if one of us is going to have to work, well, I think it's me. Well, you've worked since you were like 7. Like, doesn't matter. I mean, that's what men do. That's what they do. And so I'm going to put my wife, and so I do things that I don't want to do, probably far more than she does things she doesn't want to do. She probably does things. Would you agree with that, Rosanna, or not?
For sure.
Okay. And I'm fine with that. Like, she's my wife. Like, that's what I'm going to do. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And if she's thankful and appreciative of that, then it makes it fun to serve her. It makes it fun to go ahead. It just it just is. It's just fun. My daughters, even my sons. Now they're different because they need to learn to step up and be on their own. But I like to do it for them too. The women in my life, especially, if they're thankful and appreciative of what I do, I love serving them. I don't mind doing things I don't like doing. Like if they're thankful, if they're grateful, if they don't appreciate it, if they like it. There was another moment, and we were at Red Lobster, and Alan and Nancy were there, and a bunch of other people were there, and Jason and Melissa were across the table, and Jason was working in the factory. And I said, you know, I'm talking to Melissa, and I said, Jason doesn't want to work in the factory. I mean, he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to work. He's like, I don't think that's true. I'm like, are you kidding? And they'd been married for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And she's like, yeah, I don't think he minds working in the factory. I'm like, really, honey? I'm like, okay. You ought to ask your husband. He's sitting right there. And she goes, Jason, do you not like working in the factory? And he's like, no. And she's like, but I never hear you complain about it. And he's like, well, what good would that do? And that's, I think, pretty profound. I think men learn it doesn't do any good to complain. Like, you complain about something, like, Is your wife going to be able to fix it? Or your daughter's going to be able to fix it? No. But if you're a wife or a daughter and you complain to a husband or a father, he can fix things. He can make things, he can do things. And so, and she's like, well, you never complain. And it's like, well, what good would that do? Like, it doesn't make it better. It's like there's a running joke among men about women who go ahead and complain about the weather. So hot. It's so cold. Does that change? Like women just are silly. They're just silly. It's like, why are you doing it? To get attention. Like, it doesn't change anything. And your brain, it makes it more so. So when it's hot, you're more hot. When it's cold, you're more cold. So do you like being more hot, more cold? Sure, if it gives me attention as a woman. And so it's almost like a system almost has like an identity. It almost, if you try, so the benefit I think that Rosanna's not getting, yes, economically, freedom wise, all that kind of stuff, she gains all that. She gains a tremendous amount of benefit from it. And I'm not saying she doesn't do the work. I think she's an amazing wife. She's very great. Like, she plugs in, jumps in, and she does things. But if she's not thankful or grateful or appreciative of it, it takes all the fun out. And I don't know if I'm going to do, like, it's like, you know what? If you're not thankful, I don't have to do this. Like, I've done my time and I don't mind continuing to do my time. But you know what? I don't have to do it. And so it's almost like the system. I think what Rosanna's missing is the gratefulness and thankfulness. I think she can slip into feelings of entitlement and self-righteousness and victimhood. I don't know if she's truly happy. And so I can't believe I get to play pickleball every day. I can't believe I have the freedom that I do. I can't believe there's actually people that will actually slide in and do the work. I'm going to a birthday party tonight. Katrina, set up an appointment, and Nora is going to go ahead and do that. I'm so grateful that Katrina is making those phone calls and I'm not, because I did for a lot of years. I am so grateful that I can trust Nora to slide in, and I have confidence she's going to do a great job with it. And I get to enjoy a birthday party with my grandkids. I'm thankful for that. I don't take that for granted, because it hasn't always been there. Most of my life, it hasn't been there. I am so thankful and so appreciative of each of you and the people who come after you. And so it's almost like the system, it's almost like you can't game the system. The system somehow knows. It's almost like, I'm not saying it's God, but is God the system? Is system the God? I don't know. It's weird on how it thought. And so if Katrina loses her childlike faith and innocence, if she tries to game the system, if she loses that, and so, her WOW income goal of 120,000, like, it's not about the money. In a way it is, Mark. In a way it is, yes. But in a way it's far, far, far more than that. I mean, far, far more than that. And so like, she and Mike and I were in sync yesterday. And so there is an extreme price that's going to have to be paid, most likely, by Katrina. She's going to have to sacrifice things. Like, it was just weird. We were talking, and Rosanna said something about Katrina getting friends. Like, why should she have friends? Like, no, I don't want her to have friends. I mean, she can go without friends for 6 months or a year. She doesn't have to do it the rest of her life. But are her friends going to go ahead and distract her? Are they going to go ahead and take away from her focus? Are they going to go ahead and, so do they want her, like, drinking friends want you to drink with them? Drug friends want you to do drugs with them. friends that go in entertainment and friends that go ahead and go into, dopamine hit and just having fun all the time. Like there's an opportunity for me to go ahead and go on vacation or maybe help my son with, hundreds of trees that are, down because of the tornado that hit. And am I going to go ahead and take a week off and go have fun on vacation, or am I going to help my son, with a excavator and clean it out his whole? That's a hard choice for me, honestly. Like me personally, it's like, because I would accomplish something, I would create a memory with him. He would be forever thankful and grateful. Like my dad, when I'm 17 years old, I needed some help on the car. He had a meeting that he needed to go to, and he didn't help me, and he didn't, which I just thought that's what dads do. Like he was a pastor, so he's doing God's work, and so I'm just like, that's what dads do. Well, I'm going to work to make sure I'm never that kind of a dad. It's okay. I mean, it gave me the ability to work, and it gave me a whole bunch of stuff. It gave me a lot of gifts, and so there's the male part of me that I don't want Katrina I want to carry as much of that load for Katrina as I can. Like I want to be working beside her when she's working, I'm working. Like when we were working this last Saturday, it meant the world to me because most of the time it's like I'm working and nobody else is. And that's okay too, because I get a lot done when there's nobody else because I'm not training. I'm a machine. And so with women, I want to go ahead and do as much of the work as I can. Why? I don't know. It just seems like that's what men, if you're a man, that's what you should do. That's what you should do as a son to your mom. It's what you ought to do as a husband to your wife. It's what you ought to do as a father to your daughter. It's what you ought to do as a grandfather to. It's what you ought to do with the women friend that you have as men. And so, but I know that I can't do too much because I'm hopefully not going to be around as long as what Katrina or Nora or Elaine or the other women in my life that I've been blessed with. And so I've got to go ahead and help them. I've got to help them gain the strength because I don't know if I'll ever be replaced by another man. I mean, I am. I hope my daughters have husbands that will have the heart that their fathers have. I hope Katrina finds a young man that's going to have my heart, the heart that I had when I was a 20-year-old and married my wife, because that heart's been there for 41 years. It's just who I am. And so, but then I need to teach women too to you got to be appreciative of men, and you've got to be really careful not to take advantage of them. And that's not easy to know, and to be thankful and grateful, and to realize the success that you're having, yes, you've worked hard, you've sacrificed, you've taken risk. And so, like, I don't want any of the credit for Katrina's success. I want her to be thankful to not really me, to God, to other people. Why? Because it will serve her well in her life. So I mean, I did have, like Nicole, worked with her for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. And she was with Tanglewood Conservatories, and she was a 19-year-old and just amazing young woman. And she and I just connection was just amazing. And, so I knew her before she was dating her future husband. And it was just her and I, it's just amazing connection, just an amazing connection. And I told her, I said, Nicole, don't ever grow up and become an adult, because I loved her heart, just innocent, just working hard, just, now she's married, has, a little guy. And so I don't know how to teach men to have a heart like I had when I was 5 years old, 9 years old, 19 years old, 29 years, 39, 40. Like, I don't know how to teach men to have that heart. It will serve you well. You will serve other people your whole life, and that's okay. You will sacrifice your whole life, and it's okay. And people won't be appreciative of you. That's okay too. And you continue to do it, because that's what men do. That's what real men do. I don't know how to teach women, on how to be thankful and grateful. But if you're not thankful and grateful, like, even if you're my daughters, if you're not thankful and grateful, like, I don't know what I will do. Like, am I hurting you when you just aren't thankful? You're not grateful. You're not appreciative. You're just a princess. You think you're the center of the universe, and you mistreat. Like, and so, business, uh, older men want to help younger men. They just do. They're wired to do it. It's their legacy. Younger men, you take advantage of older men, they'll kick your ass. They'll just absolutely, you know what? Just don't. Yeah. You know what? I don't need this. So, you know, like I told Jonathan, it's like, do it because God wants you to do it. It's the right thing to do. That should be your highest motivation. If that's not enough motivation, do it because we're friends. And if that's not enough of motivation, do it because, you don't respect your mom. She's my wife. I'll kill you. Not physically, but he got it man to man. And women don't understand how to build strong men. They just don't. They just don't. My mom did. And she listened largely to my dad, maybe too much at times. So you can do that. But my mom knew, how to build powerful men. And so, um, men, younger men, you think you like the gift, whatever gift you've been given by older men. I'm just telling you, there's so much more they could give. But if you're not appreciative, if you're not thankful, you're entitled. You think you got it all figured out. The older men will just stop giving because they don't have to. They just don't. Uh, Women, especially younger women, um, older men want to help you. They just do. Maybe because they messed up with their own daughters. Maybe they didn't have daughters. Maybe because they had daughters and they raised beautiful women and they want to do more. They want to bless more younger women. Um, be really careful not to use the men, because older men, they'll put up with it for a certain amount of time and then they'll just be done. You're just like, you know what? I don't need this. So they're not like younger men. They're just not. They just not. Like, been there, done that. Um, Questions or thoughts, anybody?
This is really good.
Why?
Why? Because I think sometimes we kind of forget all the things that are done behind the scenes that help each of us grow.
So if you're a young woman, I would talk to Rosanna. Mark didn't become this way on his own. Yes, he had a lot of it before he met Rosanna. Yes, there's a lot of the core that was in there for whatever reason. But Rosanna understands a lot, and younger women should approach her and talk to her and glean wisdom from her. They should listen, and younger women just don't. Younger men can gain a lot from women. A lot. I mean, a lot. Women will tend to serve men better than men serving women. Women will tend to be more loyal, it seems like to me, ish. Can be. And so being in flow in the system, how do you be in flow with the system and everything? So I don't know where Katrina is going to put this. I don't know if there'll be a category, Mark crying. I don't know. Like, I don't know where she's going to put this, but this is like, there's so much depth, and people are just surface. They just want surface. It's like, trust me, go deep. Deep relationships, like you want lifelong relationships. I wish when I was your ages, I wish somebody had taught me how to do this and taught the people around me how to do it. Because there's so many cool things that are happening in my life that I wish that I could share with others. It would be so cool. So always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.